Hello coders, good afternoon. A bit of a change to the schedule today because I normally stream on Tuesdays, but I'm busy tomorrow night and I thought I would do it tonight. So there we go. We're going to do some React today. We have a playground in the mono repo that I have. And this is all kind of like, this isn't like required for any kind of launch or anything like that of the howtocodewell.net platform. This is just me playing around with stuff. So I'll just talk about what I've got. I'll show you what I've done. We go to the code here. Let's get rid of all this stuff. We don't need any of this. What I have is this is the mono repo, and we have a playground, and in that playground we have React, and in that React folder we have components, we have sites, and we have apps, because eventually I want to build some React native apps. And what I have done is I've created a content management system, a podcast, and a portal. These are essentially what these are, to be honest: the website, podcast, and the website has the CMS. This will eventually be the place for decoupling the application. At the moment, it's all built in Symfony and Twig and all that stuff. So what I want to do is just sort of have a little play with React and just have a little feel, see if we can build some components, you know. And I've been doing so in the CMS. These are all you know, basic standalone React and TypeScript applications. And the idea is that I want to share components across the three app things, and then if possible maybe the React native stuff as well, and then have a means of creating like an API client that I can plug into all of this. So I've got lots of plans for the future of how I want to set these things up. What I want to do today is just focus on the CMS. We have some components in here. We have a panel. We also have this temp thing that just doesn't do anything. And I'm starting to slowly build the panel footer, and then you got the panel. There's going to be like a panel header and like panel body and stuff. And essentially, the way I'm thinking is that this is going to be very similar to the Bootstrap stuff. So if we had a look at the Bootstrap panel, if I can get that to load. So this is W3C schools. Sorry, let me deal with the GDPR rubbish. Save preferences. There we go. Right. So, oh, I'm not showing this on stream. There we go. Here we go. So, with the Bootstrap panel, you have essentially a panel and a panel body, and you've got like the body is inside the div panel, and you can change the class. You know, panel default changes the look and feel of the panel. You can also pass in things like different classes. If I scroll down here, you have like success, info, primary, warning, danger, that kind of stuff. And it's kind of set up like this, and that's essentially what I want to slowly build out, because what I'm thinking on the CMS at least is that we would have a series of panels, and then in those panels we would have a series of things. So like a table of things. So in the current CMS, we have like a table of customers or a table of courses. And so you would have the title of this would say customers, and then you would have the list, the table of customers, and then maybe on a footer you would have pagination. And what I wouldn't mind is having this panel sort of be you know, responsive in the sense that you could have a grid of panels, kind of like a dashboard, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's basically what I want to play with. This is just a very bare bones setup at the minute. So you've got like home, as you can see, it really doesn't do anything. But what I've done is I've injected the panel in here, and I just want to play with it today. I just want to sort of mess around with it, play around with some of the CSS stuff. and just see what I can do. So we've got, I'll just show you how I've set it up so far. So we've got package.json in here. It's just a panel, version 1. And the main is set to panel TSX, which is in this thing here. And it is essentially, well, we've got two classes. We've got panel and panel footer, two components, I should say, both ES6 classes. So we've got, we have a type panel props, and we have the class panel. It extends React panel, passing in the panel props as the types properties, and we have default properties as well. And this is essentially the setup. So we have the div of the panel, and then we have a panel header, and then we have the panel body, and then we have an optional panel footer. So this is saying if we've got a footer, then pass that in, or create the panel footer and pass in the panel footer in here. So panel footer is very lightweight. It's just this. So you've got a footer, and then you've got the div, and then you can put stuff in it if you want to. So I'm kind of seeing this is sort of breaking this down. So we could have a panel body, we could have a panel header, that kind of thing. And then in assets, we've got, yes, the module panel. And I'm using variables, what was I using? It was a post. I can't remember what I did. It was a post CSS thing. It was preset envs and CSS variables. And I'm also minifying and using the auto prefixer as well. So yeah, I guess what I want to do today is just sort of see if we can split this up a little bit further. And this is I like this. This is pretty cool because this means that this is an optional component that comes into play. So for example, if I go to the pages and go to home, I believe it is. There we go. So we're saying panel. We're starting the panel off, and we are putting in this is a test. So if I go over to here, we have this is a test. So that's the footer. If I was to remove this, it should. Yeah, get removed. There we go. It gets removed. So that is the that is called that when that loads. This is calling the panel or bringing the panel footer in. Yeah. Now there's a couple of considerations with this. So with the panel body, I wouldn't mind playing around with the idea of actually injecting a component into here. That would be pretty awesome. So like we could have a table component, and we could pass that in. And it would instead of putting it around a paragraph tag, it would just have this as a standalone, a table essentially. And the header, I wouldn't mind splitting that out into its own little thing. And in the future, I wouldn't mind having some icons on these things. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just like I said, I'm just playing around at the minute. I'm just playing around. So it says panel title here, right? So panel title. So if we were to dress this up, let's say this was going to be something to do with the, something to do with the customers. So if we go into, actually, let's do courses. That's probably better. So bear with me a second whilst I find that again. Yeah. So if we go to panel and we do, I believe it's title. And we actually put in a title. So we're going to do, oh, great, different keyboard today. Title is, let's do courses and save that. And the idea is I'm just slowly working my way through, there we go, slowly working my way through into building a very basic sort of UI library, I guess. So there we go, courses, and the panel could be used in the when the user logs in on the normal site. Do I have the normal site running? I can show you what I mean. So if we did docker ps-a, do we have that running up? We do. So if we went up to the normal site, so howtocodewell.local. Come on. Oh. Nope, it's broken. Docker. Oh, have I not pulled down the and built the? Okay, bear with me a minute. I think there is a little workaround I have here. I need to rebuild the Docker image based on the changes I made over the weekend, and I haven't done that. So one of the fixes I did was screwing around with the permissions. So bear with me a second. Data, Sean. If this doesn't work, I'll just leave it. I want to get to var, and I want to do it on cache. I also want to do this on var and do this on log as well. Right, let's see if that has changed its tune. If not, I will just move on. Yeah, here we go. So if I hit login now, so this is all like, this is, like I said, this is all like Symfony and Twig, all that good stuff. But what I wanted to show you was, come on, here, right. So this is kind of like what I'm thinking, like as a panel, right? So this is kind of like, you got the table here, you got the title there. This doesn't have a footer, but I mean, it could have. And this is just a list of courses that the user has enrolled in. There's also, like, if I go to the profile section here, there is this could be its own panel. So we could have a panel for with a form in it. If I go back to the dashboard, this could be a panel. Billing as well. There could be panels in here. I mean, this could be a panel. I mean, it's a table with with the orders and stuff. So do you know what I mean? It's kind of like that kind of placeholder, I suppose I would call it. So yeah, from there to here, we've got a lot to play with, obviously. So what I want to do today is just sort of split these up into different things, and then maybe play around with the styling. So that's enough chatting. Thank you ever so much for joining, everybody. Appreciate that. Let's get on and start hacking around with some good old React, shall we? So let's start by going into the panel, and we have panel extends, panel props. Well, this is what I want to change. So I wouldn't mind having like a panel header in here. So one of the problems with the mono repo is it just gets huge. The amount of nested stuff, it does get a bit mind-boggling. I'm going to just be lazy, and I'm going to just copy panel over, and we're going to put this into src, and we're going to call this panel. Let's do panel header. Panel header. Yes, please. And what we'll do is we'll say that this is a panel header, and we'll do panel header props. And essentially, I am just bringing everything around. So this is just going to be a very lightweight component. Default props. We need the title. We don't need anything else. But we could have in the future, say, icons and all of that jazz. So we need to change this to be panel props in here. And this is essentially what we're going to do here. So let's get rid of all of this rubbish. We don't need any of this stuff, and we don't need any of this stuff either. I am going to wrap it in a header because I can, and we're just going to put that in there like this, and then this of course is going to be our panel header that we're exporting. There we go. Okay, so that's a very quick let's get rid of all this rubbish. Don't need any of that. Cool. Okay, so then what I can do on panel is I can pass that in, right? So I can do panel header. Whoops. Panel header, and I can pass in the title, which is what is needed because the IDE picked that up because if I clicked on the right thing, it's saying that we know that there is a property of title because we're requiring that in the type there. So that's a bit of TypeScript goodness. Okay, so the title with this will just be passing in that. So it will be this props title. And we really shouldn't see much change, to be honest. It should just now be a case of closing that off. He says, yeah, that's good. So we have a div, we've got a div and a paragraph tag. I think I'm going to change that as well. I'm going to have like a panel body. I'm just breaking this all up, to be honest. So if we rebuild all those things, is that all good? And we go into here, we shouldn't really see much change. If we do the developer thingy, you know what I'm talking about, the developer toolbar thing. We have panel. This is using the auto prefixer stuff, which is good. We have a header now, woo! And in header we have courses, yeah. And then we've got the div in here, and then we've got panel content, and then this, of course, is the title. So, hello everybody. Thank you. Hello. I know we're doing React today, but I just wanted to say that PHP London, if anybody's in the UK, PHP London has just announced the PHP London 2023 tickets, PHP UK. So I will be mentioning that obviously on the podcast this week, but just wanted to let anybody know if they're interested in coming. I'm about 95% sure that I will be there next year. So because it was really good this year, I really enjoyed it. It's just good to get out, you know. That was the first conference I went to since lockdowns, and it was good. It was good. Anyway, getting back to some good old JavaScript, shall we? So let's see. That's done. That's looking good. That's good. The next thing we can do is tidy this up. So we got the content here. What should we do? I guess we can just do the same thing, can't we? So we do panel header, we copy that, and we paste that into there, and we do panel body. Like so. Okay, so the panel body is gonna have some properties, and at the minute the properties are simply content. In fact, I'm going to change that now. I'm going to call that body. No, I'm going to keep it to content. There we go, content. Okay, so that needs to be changed in here. This needs to be called panel body. Again, just doing very small little changes here, nothing massive. This isn't like earth-shattering things like I'm doing here. I'm just playing. And then we have panel body props in there, and then we change this to be content. There we go. That's all good. And we change this to be panel body. Woo! And then in the panel itself, we can now do. Have I done that already? Panel head. No, I need to change that, don't I? Yes. There we go. So in here, we change this to be panel body. Panel body. And we pass in content, and that is this dot props dot content, like so. And let's close that out. Okay, so that's looking pretty cool. It's nice and simple now, which is nicer to read, in my opinion. And it's broken things out. Now, the reason why I did all this, you might be thinking, why on earth have you just done this for just a couple of divs? There are things that I wouldn't mind doing in the future regarding this panel. I think I mentioned this earlier. Like, for instance, this is just printing out text, right? And I wouldn't mind having this printing out, like changing this to be a table or printing HTML out or something like this. And so this needs to have some form of intelligence. Why is that saying that should be panel body? This needs to have some form of intelligence to know what it is that's actually being injected in here, to then change this up depending on that. So that will need some form of intelligence, and the footer will disappear and appear if it's enabled or not. And again, I wouldn't mind having this. I'm kind of seeing the footer as kind of a way to have pagination, having like pagination down here if this was a table, and then in the header have like maybe an icon or whatnot. Let's just see how it looks. It's probably, yeah, it hasn't actually done any changes. That's great. Okay, so now we've done that, let's get into some CSS. So we have panel here, and we have the warning background, and that's okay, I guess. Let's just have a little look and see what Bootstrap's got. So what we have is a little border. I wouldn't mind having that. That looks pretty cool. And it's all the same sort of color. I don't know why I chose that hex. I just kind of found it and thought, yeah, okay. So let's see on panel body. How do I change this? I guess what I need to do from the actual instantiation point. So in regards to here, I need to say what it is. So like the type, I might have to pass in type, like type equals warning or mode even. So warning, danger, info, that kind of stuff, and have a default mode. And then that would then change the CSS. I don't know how to do that. I guess I would change it there, wouldn't I? I would pass that in. Let's have a go with that. That sounds fun. So yes, let's see. So we're going to do warning background. Let's create another one. Let's call this default, right? So this is default. And we'll give this default boring gray. Why not? And then let's do another one. Let's call this one success. I can't spell it. I seriously cannot spell today. There we go, success. And we'll do that a nice sort of palish green, sort of that color. That's a little bit too, there we go, that'll do. That's good. Right, okay, so we have these backgrounds, and we have on here, what we could do is say something like .panel let's say default. Well, I don't know, maybe we should follow what this is doing. Panel default, panel primary, panel success. Let's give that a go. So panel, let's do panel default. Has the background it's actually a border, to be honest, isn't it? Border, because you don't want the main bit to change. So you got like border is say 1 pixel solid, and the whoops border border color is say let's just come up with something at the minute. So let's just do black for a second, just to make sure that I've got this working. So that should be border sorry, that should be border width. That should be so 1 pixel. And yeah, let's get to panel. What was that called? Panel default. Panel default. Let's change this to be let's change this to be styles.panel. And can we do this? Can I do a concatenation of? Probably not. Panel default. There we go. Right. So I don't think I've done that CSS correctly, have I? Probably not. Panel default. Style. Solid. Border width 1 pixel. Oh wait, hang on a minute. It doesn't appear to have anything on it. Why have I? Oh, because I've done that. Silly idiot. And I need to call it. See, this is where it all goes horribly wrong. Class name panel default. What? Hang on a minute. Where did that come from? That's not right. Panel default. Okay, where's that? That is this panel hyphen default. Okay. Let's just pass it in. Let's just do that for a second. And class is panel default. Probably need a dot, right? No, because that's the wrong thing. Yeah, there we go. Refresh. Okay, maybe I am getting all the CSS wrong. It's probably a likely story. So let's change that. Let's just bring that into here just to make sure that this is actually being loaded. No. How rude. How very rude. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? Let me Control Z all of this. Panel. Panel. Right, good. Right, I thought the border was up and working. I don't know why that was failing though, but anyway, it's probably something that I'm yet to learn. Okay, so with this, we need to do the header as a color and then the border. So let me just set this up. So with the panel here, panel border, panel background warning, we also have, let's just see what the others look like. So success background, that's cool. Let's do default. Default background. Yeah, a bit boring, but okay. Okay, so that's changing. Okay, that's good. So how do I get? Is it because? Oh right. Yes, I see. It's because of the auto prefixer, isn't it? Yes, it is. It is. So how would I be able to get that on here? How does that happen? Styles, panel, panel, and then could I? So we've already got a class name. Is this like saying that you can only have one class name per element? That shouldn't be it, should it? How? Okay, so we've got a little bit of investigation here. How does one? And you must appreciate I'm relatively new to setting this stuff up. I'm sure there is a explanation. Let's just change this to be here for a minute. Let's just set all the things up that we want. So we've got border color is this, background color is, we're gonna have white, and in terms of, so this is going to be dot panel, was this default? Yep. And then we've got panel success, and that will have success. Oh, that's success, sorry. So that will be default. Let's tidy this up a bit because there's a lot of styles in here that are all duplicates. I'll do that in a second. So we have success, we have warning, panel warning, warning background. Okay, so we can now do dot panel, right? And we can do all of this stuff in there. Bring all that up. Remove all this because this is all duped. And essentially this is the change, right? This is all the change is. It's just changing the color, the border color, to that's background color. That's default, success, warning. There's another one. What is it? No, that was it. That was just it. Okay, so I can get rid of you. So warning, success, default, and then the actual panel itself. We should also deal with the header as well. So we could probably do with this would be header, right? And this would be background. Okay, this would be panel default. That's how it would be. Panel default header would have a background color, which is default background, right? And then we would have another one down here. So we got panel default header, and that would be panel default header. Oh, sorry, this would be panel success. Of course it would. Of course it would. And then that would be success. And then I guess we would have one down here for warning. And that would be warning here. So I think that's all good. And that would be warning, of course. Let me just carve this out so it's a little bit more. So this is default. Let me just make a bit of room, carve all this out. I like to put comments in to break things up a bit. So that's default, that's success. And then, oh, we haven't done the warning, have we? And then that's warning. Okay, so, no, we have. There we go. There we go. Right. And then that is just the standard panel, right? Well, that's just what the panel has. So if we were to open this up, we just have white and we have a black border because that is the default color for the border. Right. So the challenge then, I guess, is how does one have multiple CSS classes on an auto? I'm sure there's a million and one ways to do this. I haven't come across this. No, I'm sure I've come across this before with of course I know. Yeah. This is I've done this many a times with Gatsby, of course. My brain has gone completely blank right now. Essentially, what I want to do is say, okay, this is setting up the panel, and essentially I would like to have, say, mode or type, and that type being like let's say success, and then that would then filter through into the components and go, oh yeah, you're on type success, and therefore it needs to be green. But we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves here. Let's see if we can let's see if we can, yeah, we need to pass that in as a type. So type is going to be a string or null, because it can be null. And the default properties would be type would be info. Do I have info? Or no, it's default, isn't it? Default. There we go. So down in here, we need to somehow manipulate this to say, and I don't know if this is going to do anything, I don't know, but it needs to be something like panel and then panel dot panel default. That's essentially what I want to get to, but I don't think this is this is just going to die because class doesn't exist. Obviously, so that would be class name, but because we're using the auto prefixer, I don't know if this is gonna work. No, it's not. Bear with me a minute, guys. I need to just pop down and just take an eye on the doggies because it is very warm. I just want to make sure that they've got enough water, and I will be back and sorting this stuff out very, very shortly. Bear with me a minute. I'm also going to get a drink myself. Where is the... There we go. Yeah, they're fine. They're watching an animal program at the moment. They're okay. I just heard them like moving around outside the office door, and I just wanted to make sure that they were okay. Right. So I think with regards to this, what I need to do is rely a little bit more on the... I mean, that's the ideal, right? Well, that's where we want to get to. But because I'm using auto prefixer and post CSS, it's slightly different. So let's bring this back to what it was. And save, and then get back to here. Are you gonna... Nope. Okay. Styles panel. Oh no, that is right. That is right. Okay, cool. So what we need to do is have a look at how this is being spat out on the page. So this is panel underscore panel, and then this crazy thing here, which is the what the auto prefixer does to make sure that you don't have any collisions in your class names. What we need to do is like manipulate this. So if we were to copy that, copy the selector, and then go into our modules thing here, if we were to essentially that gets converted into I thought I copied it. I thought I copied it, but I didn't. That's not what I wanted. There we go. So that gets converted into this, right? That's essentially where we're at, which means that this needs to be this needs to change to do to follow on from this kind of sort of thing. So what we could do, and I will follow a tutorial because like I said, I'm a bit rusty with the old post CSS stuff. I've been a PHP dev for a while, so this is all a bit new. Let's have a little think. What am I trying to achieve here? It's React. It's auto prefix. It's post CSS. That's better. Post CSS. Auto prefixer. Multiple classes, something like that. How to use auto prefixer with Vite and React. No, I already know how to do that. That's not what I'm looking for. Let me see. Hang on. Adding multiple classes. Adding multiple classes. React auto prefixer. Is that conditionally? Aha! This might be it. This is what I might have to have a look at. So this person is doing it by state, which is probably a good idea for me to do actually. Change the state of the app of the panel, so it's it's an info panel or it's a warning panel or whatnot. But you see this person here is applying different things, different styles based upon that the auto prefix thing here. So ours would have like panel, then it would be like underscore blah blah blah, based upon the state. And there's some fixes here, how one would do it based on that. So let's have a little play. So first of all, I'm just going to tidy up the CSS. So this is how it would look, and it would be, I think it would be, yeah, underscore, and then that would be default, right? I believe. So that there would be this. Is this right? Is that correct? I don't know. And then I'm not sure if I should be manipulating the manipulating the CSS to have this or the other way around. I don't quite know yet. We'll find out. And then that would be success. And then whoops. And then that would be that would just be success. Too many S's. And that one would be warning. And that would just be warning itself. Right. Okay. Okie dokie. So with that being said, is there a way I can manipulate this? So we've got styles panel, right, which is what this was doing, right? So if we had a look at here, we've got import React component, all of these good stuff. We've got state. We have class name. This state is available, and we're passing in the styles of active, else. All right, let's go to the solution a second, which is you can use join, you can use object assign. Here we go. I'm just going to copy that just because it's a wee bit long and I just want to see what it actually fully looks like. Right, so, whoa, it is long, isn't it? Let's get rid of that for a second. Right, so this state.suggestions available. Okay, so we don't have that. We will, I tell you what, we will have that. We will have that. Let's scroll up to the top a second. You see that? That's how that's how that's worked here. So no. Here we go. This state. Wrong button. And they've done that in here, obviously, in the constructor. So we're going to do this state. We're going to have this as a type, right? And we're going to have default in here. I know that we're essentially duplicating ourselves, but give me a second whilst I just play with this. So this is ternary. So if state type 123 is equal to default, right? If state.type, don't know why that hasn't picked that up, but okay. Then this will be styles. Hang on, what am I missing here? I'm missing something here. Where is style set? This state styles. Hold fire. That to me looks like an array. This person's saying you can do it with a join. I see. I'm just wondering where styles are coming from. Oh yes, I see. Sorry. Yeah, got it. got it. Okay, it is an array because we were importing it. Yeah, cool. It's been a long day. So this needs to be our if it's on default, this needs to be our default class, right? So let's do that. Okay, and we're not putting any more in. It is just that. Because this is a ternary, we can do the other side of it. So let's say if it's not default, then it's, I don't know, a warning. Let's go back to here. No. Here. Let's do a warning. All right. I believe that might be okay. Apart from this, type does not exist on a read-only. This is a TypeScript thingy. Obviously, I need to probably define that, don't I? Yeah, I'm gonna need to define this. Is there a way I can do this on default props rather than on state? I know it probably should be state, but let's just, as we have this working, let's not overcomplicate stuff. So what's this? JS has no corresponding closing tags. Yes, it does. Oh, that's because of this, isn't it? Get rid of that. There we go. Right, let's have a little play. Let's see. Have I broken everything? No, I haven't. Woo, look at that. See? Look, boom. That's now running off of default. And what we have is yes, we've put that in as default background, but we need to deal with this because, oh no, that's working. Default header is working. Sure, got it. Where is the border? Where is the bloody border? I guess if we were to pedal back a couple of minutes, that would be. I should really just title this stream. Pete tries to learn post CSS live on YouTube. That needs to be this, doesn't it? Does it? Perhaps not. Perhaps not. Panel default. Too many panels. Why though is that? Not sure why. Oops. Come on. Not sure why. I don't know why this is all. I guess, yeah. I'm not sure why that's not picking that up. My guess is it's because. My guess is that I need to do. Something like this person had it, didn't he? They had multiple ones, so if this was available, then it's that and that. So oh, this person's using a join, right? And then this person here is saying that you can do suggestions and then just do plus plus. Okay. So if we does that mean I have to do plus plus on the other side? Yeah, it does. That's a very awkward way of doing it. There must be a better way. There must be a better way to do this. Must be. It's probably staring me in the face. Must be a better way of bringing that in. Panel default. I essentially need to have another thing, don't I? Because we're saying that everything is default, but that's not true. Well, it is true in this case, but I kind of wanted something else. So, I mean, that's just clearly not going to work. That's not going to work, is it? So what we need to do is if we went back to here and we did, if we did the thing that is normally the thing that works, in fact, let's just take it out of the component for a second. Let's do a const and let's just do a let and then do CSS is equal to, and then do I'm thinking of concatenating things now, so let's do styles dot panel, right? And then so that's the default. That needs to be concatenated with we'll do it in this kind of manner. So it's just plus and then a space. So that would be plus and then a space and then a plus, and then that would be this. So it would be styles dot panel default. So that's the default set. So if we were to put this now into here, so let's get rid of the whole checking of things at the minute. Let's just make this nice and simple. So if that was CSS, then if we go back to here, we now have our nifty little border. That's good. And And then what we can do is have our little change. And if we went to the code, we can see that we have panel in there, and then we have panel default, like so. Yeah, that makes sense to me. So if we had a little if condition, so if this dot props dot type, and yeah. Let me just give me a second whilst I just have a little. It's been a while since I've been playing with this, so bear with me a second. Yeah, here we go. Right, so we're going to put that at the end. That's great. And we're going to do a switch statement. So switch, and we're going to do this dot props dot type. Good. And then in here we're going to have case, and we're going to have default. Well, that will be the default default. And we're going to have this here. So we'll do we'll do type CSS is equal to an empty string at the minute. We'll do type CSS is equal to this, like that, and then we'll break it off, and then we'll do another case, and this time we'll do success, and then we'll break this off. There's probably a better way to do this, but I'm just coming up with this in my brain. So, and it's been a long day, so it probably there's people probably watching this later and going, what is he doing? There's probably a million and one ways better to do this than this ugly looking switch statement, but it is what it is right now. Cool. Okay, we want to have another case, don't we? Let's do a case in here, and we want this one to be like warning, and this will be warning. Right. Right. So that's type CSS, and essentially what we want to do is join them up. So we do down here, we do styles.panel is equal to type.css, or concat that, sorry, plus that to that. And then we feed that in to the CSS. So that will be as it is at the minute, obviously. But if we were to change the home, if we were to change the type, we haven't done this yet, but type, and we were to change that to be something like success, it's green. Look at that. That's cool. And we change this to be warning, it's orange. Yay! Yeah, it's all coming together now, isn't it? Sorry, let me just check. I'm being rude here, just checking my messages. Sorry. It's all good. Right. Okay, that's all good. I'm liking that. I'm liking that a lot. So we can now pass in the type, and it will go, it'll change. And if we don't pass in the type, it will just use the default, which will be the gray. Okay, that is wonderful. So I'll put it back to success, and we will success, 2 S's, 2 C's, because, you know, dyslexic people need to have more of a challenge, I suppose. Let's see if we can tidy this up a little bit. So what we've done here on the H2, I wouldn't mind getting rid of the borders here, or so the margins, I should say. So let's have a look at this for a minute. So we do dot panel, and we do H2, and we can say margin equals 0. If I can spell it, margin equals 0, and then run that. There we go. That's bumped that into play. I would also like to give this a bit of a padding as well. So we'll do like padding. I don't know. I'm just going to make stuff up in a minute. 10 pixels. There we go. We'll give the body. Have I actually got anything on the body that we can do, like class-wise? I don't think we do we? We've got panel body here, which is this. Because I wouldn't mind putting a little bit of padding around here. So we could do in here, yeah. So we could do dot panel underscore panel underscore body, and we can give this a padding of say 10 pixels as well. And we can then up here we can say import that's not the right file. It's this file, and I want to import that into the body, and I want to pull out styles. So class name is equal to styles dot, and this is panel body. Is that going to work? Bear with me a minute. I just want to double check the dogs again. Give me a second. Okay, sorry about that. So where have we got to? Okay, yes. So that's now brought that into the a little bit better. Let's tidy up the footer as well. So I guess we can do the same thing, right? So we can do panel body, and we're going to do panel footer as well. In fact, it's a footer, so we could do that, right? There we go. And with the actual footer, this is all looking a bit messy now, but with the footer, what I'm going to do is just have like a border top, border top, 1 pixel solid, and it's going to be the color of it'll have a color. It'll have a color. It'll also have a background as well, background color of white, just in case it goes on to another background. But what we should do is we should also have where we've got our default here. That needs to be footer. In fact, we can change this up. We can make this a little bit better, can't we? So this could be default. And then that's that. And we can change that to be footer, right? And that's the border color, right? So if we go over here, there we go. We got that. Now that's looking terrible because there seems to be I just wanted border top. I didn't want anything else. Okay, yeah, border width 1 pixel. Okay, so this should be border top. Border top. That's even worse. Why? Hang on, bring those back. Border top is 1. We can do border bottom is 0. Let me just see if that does anything. Yes, it does. Why has the top not come out? That's weird. So if we did border right, obviously we can put all this in a single sort of command, but I just wanted to pinpoint why is that? Why have I got no border top? Border top 1 pixel, and then we've got the color here. We're on the wait. I see. I think I understand. It's because we've been just doing it on the default, but actually what we need to do is also do this. Yeah. But we need to do this on the other ones as well. So it's this one, panel success. I think that's the one we're at the minute. Is it not? Yeah. Why is that not? Border top, border bottom. Do I need to do a border width as well? Probably not. That's so weird. Why can't I get that in there? Is it to do with the padding? No. Anywho, I'll deal with that later. That's fine. We'll just leave that be for a second. What I wouldn't mind doing is getting some more of these running. So just as a closing note. So in here, I wouldn't mind having like so that's a success. This is a well, this is going to be nothing. Sorry, this is going to be nothing, and then this is going to be default, and we'll do content is equal to this is default content. Then we'll do type here. This will do success, and you guessed it. This is success content. And then we have another one. And this one is going to be warning. We should have like error and other things, but I can get onto them later. Warning. This is warning content. All right, let's hit save and then have a look. There we go. We've got our 3 little panels. I wouldn't mind putting these in some form of little collection. That's probably the next thing to do, is to create like a grouping of, you know, like a grid, so they can be like so that like a flex box type thing, right? So they can they're not all full width. That would be good. That will be good. And I'm guessing we would have like a panel grid, and the panel grid would then have panels in them. But so far so good. That seems fine. Let's just put in a little bit of margin. So up in here. Let's do just do a margin 20. Let's just make them a little bit. There we go. That's good. That's basically what I wanted to do today. Just play around with React and come up with, well, it's kind of like these really. I mean, you've got rounded corners and everything, but you know, let's. I tell you what we could do, just as a little bit of a laugh. Let's see if we can steal the colors, shall we? So let's say that this is primary. This is going to be our info. So let's go to here. Well, default. Let's paste that in. Let's have a look at that. There we go. It's gone blue. Obviously, they've changed the coloring of this. I haven't done that yet. This is success. So let's grab whatever that is. That is. Oh, look, they've got. I see what they've done. They've changed the color. They've made it a little bit darker. That's clever. I like that. So that's success. So that's going to go in there. And then what's the warning like? That's kind of like a very. They're actually. Even the border is dark, different. That's cool. I like that. I mean, that's not obviously where we're at, but you see there's like 3 different colors. I didn't realize. So the border is actually slightly darker than everything else. You just kind of make it out. But this is what mine looks like. Success is wrong. Why is success looking like that? That's not right. Where is the success? That's not the right color. It should be. I want to use that one, but I'm not 100% sure if that's the right. If that's the right one, it's certainly different. There we go. And my warning is slightly off as well, which is this one up here. So the warning that they have is going to be that one if we're picking the middle one each time. Let's have a look. There we go. It's slightly more chilled and laid back, isn't it? It's kind of like, it's not a huge warning. It's kind of just, why? It just looks a bit different, doesn't it? It looks a bit darker. I guess what we could do is actually put in the styles for the rest of it, right? So let's just do. Let's do warning. Let's do default. We should probably do default up top, really, to be honest, because that is the default one. Boom, boom, boom. And I've gone and taken that off my clipboard because I'm an idiot. There we go. No. Come on. Don't you just hate it when you end up copying blank space and then you end up pasting that in? It's annoying. So that's that one. And then we have success. Right. Yes. So that's the background, BG background. So let's do, what do we want? We want border. And we want color or text. Text. Woo. Okay, so let's steal this. So if we go to this, that is the background color. That's the border color. So I'll take the border color. That is the border color there. And then the text would be the color, which would be white. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. And then we have a similar deal for the warning. So let's change the warning. 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 And the warning, which was down here, we have the color is slightly darker, which is this one here. So that's the text. And then we have the border, which is this one, which is slightly lighter, which is this one here. And then we have the success, which is this one. Now this is a bit different. So we've got color, which is darker. I haven't even put the color in. Oh, you idiot. It's these two that I need. Okay, so that's the color. We also need to change the names of them as well. So that's going to be success and lowercase s, and that's going to be success text. I've done all this wrong. I've done all of this wrong. That is the text. This is the background. This is the border. Border. Brilliant. Okay. Right. So then if we were to bring this into play into, say, the actual stuff here, we have panel, that's fine. Then we have the H2, that's okay. That's the footer, blah, blah, blah. Bit more to do with the footer. I don't know why I've done all this outside of there, but whatever. Then we've got problems with the actual border of the footer, but that's another day job, I think. We've got the header. We could change this to have the color, which has the var default text color. Default text. And then we can do the same thing for the header for success. So that's just success text. And we could do the same for the warning, which is down here. And we also need to change the, what else do we need to do? Warning. What else do we need to do? Well, there is the footer to deal with, I suppose. The footer has border color. I think I'm going to leave the footer for now. Let's just have a look and see how this looks. That's better. That's much better. That's looking. Obviously, the font is terrible. Let's just change that now. We'll do that in our not in the panel. We'll do this in the actual in here. If I can remember where I put everything. It's not in components. It's in assets. It's in main.css. And if we change this to be sort of font font family, what should we do? Let's just copy what we've currently got on here. That's probably wise, isn't it? View developer tools. What have we got on header? HTML. All right. Why do I think that's not going to work? And then a line height as well. We'll put that in as 2. Let's get rid of some of this rubbish. Let's just put in that. Add font family to custom HTML tags. Ugh. Probably need to get rid of a load of this actually. Let's just keep it simple. Let's get rid of we need to obviously take out the fact that everything is in text. Let's go let's just do Roberto. There we go. That's a good one. Let's keep it nice and simple for a minute. And obviously that hasn't changed because I don't know what I'm doing. Font face. Is that the right, hang on, is that the right font name? Have I got the right font name there? Yes. Let's just copy it just to be 100% sure. Line height is 1.5. I'm just making all this stuff up now, and I'm looking at the time, thinking, "Oh, I've got to go." Yeah, I will deal with that in a minute. I mean, it's just the font. It's nothing crazy. That's at the minute. That's all I wanted to do. So we have our little blocks, success warnings and stuff taken from the Bootstrap panels. I'm not bothered by the little radiuses, to be fair. I think that's okay. I'm comfortable with that. Does that have a radius? No, it doesn't. It's just squared off. Yeah. I'm happy with that. No worries, Lucy. Have a good day. I am going to shoot off and grab some dinner, but that's yeah, that's essentially where I've got to. I think the next one we're going to play around with some grids. I think so we're going to move these into grids or maybe play around with the contents of them. But essentially where I'm at with the site is that like I've shown you this. It's pretty much there are some other things that I need to do, especially around GDPR and other annoying things that one has to do when they're building a website. And also we've got the staging deployment that still is ongoing. So I'll do those all those bits during the evenings this week, and well, as usual. And then next stream we'll come back and we'll do a bit more React-y stuff. But this is all chilled out stuff because none of this is required to go live at all. It's just what I'm just playing with, really. I wouldn't mind breaking this up and having, like I said, a content management system, a front end, the podcast site, breaking them up into and using React and then using an API. So kind of moving away from the sort of like Symfony Twig front end. That's kind of where I want to be, but I don't see that happening for a long time yet. So these are just the steps. I'm just slowly building up some components in React, so then I can then share them across the sites. So yeah, I'll be dipping in and out of this during the streams. But have a pleasant evening. I'm gonna grab some dinner, and I will speak to you everyone on the podcast. Take care, everyone. Cheers. Bye bye.